The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, their guests, callers, and advisors on Eye of the Nation are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Eye on the Nation is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Eye on the Nation is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights are reserved.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Eye on the Nation. I'm David Miller. And of course, somewhere, I guess, far in the great beyond, St. Jessica Brown is, I don't know, somewhere having a jolly. Notwithstanding, we've got a long runner show for you today, and so it's Thursday. Right out of the gate, let me begin by saying that, man, if you have a nice store like the one we went to yesterday, Madison, down there out west, and for the people who aren't aware, because everybody yesterday kept telling me that they wasn't sure that the plaza was open. Believe it or not, the plaza is open. When you pass the Shell gas station and you're driving west, I think some of you kind of just slip into a sense of autopilot. Don't do that. Cease and desist from doing that. So Charlottesville is right across the way here. And right before you get around the roundabout that'll continue to take you west into Lyford Key and Serenity and all those fancy places, there's a little corner to the left-hand side. The Royal Bank is right here. You can't miss this. Once you go past the Royal Bank, the immediate first right takes you into the parking lot of Madison. And I want to tell you that if you go for no other reason, the candle selection is fantastic. As a matter of fact, it is so fantastic, some people want to buy $500 worth of it at a time. Notwithstanding that, there's a plethora of absolutely amazing decor. The lighting is fantastic. It is easy shopping. Gentlemen everywhere, I'm telling you, it is a wonderful, easy occasion for you and the tenderoni to go traipsing about out west for absolutely no reason. And the whole date should cost you $16 because once you're done, ooh, this is nice and all this furniture in here, you could go right across the road and get yourself two wonderful white chocolate mocha, extra, what do you call it? Extra espresso. And for $16, you'll be boyfriend of the week. So I want to say a special shout out to the team down there at the Madison Home Collection. That's Miss Arlene Simmons and Miss Darrell Clayton, who were such fantastic hosts. And they also were so good at hosting us that they had wonderful. I've never been on a live remote where somebody prepared me charcuterie board with fancy cheese and cherry tomatoes. You know, whenever they give you cherry tomatoes on a charcuterie board, you don't even call them tomatoes anymore. They were wonderful cherry tomatoes. And I enjoyed them until that team of people came in and whisked away all of the tomatoes. But notwithstanding that, my time there was wonderfully spent. I also want to say hello to KK, who I met over there, an attorney from out west in the same general area, who was quite a fantastic person to meet. And then, of course, I met Brenda Lee, who this week, her and Pascal, I think that's the name, Brenda Lee, I think I nailed it, her and Pascal are going to be celebrating several years of wonderful marital bliss. And so, you know, you get an opportunity to meet wonderful people when you go on these live remotes, and we're looking forward to having a couple of live remotes next week as well. And so we invite you all to come and join us. You know, regatta season is here. So please, y'all, don't tie me down too tight because I could feel my soul is already on a beach somewhere in the great Commonwealth of the Bahamas, engaging actively in hooliganism and frolicking and sauntering and sashaying and, you know, a little bit of rabble-rousing, if you will, because it's regatta time, and oh, what a time it is. And so to the Minister with responsibility for regattas, the Honorable Mario Boleg, I wish to say to you that as a senior regatterer If there is any regatta that you require my expertise for, I am signing up as both willing and willful. And I'm prepared to participate in the country's national sport in any capacity that you would have me, and I require very little, right? A plane ticket, a hotel room, a car, some per diem, and that's it. I don't need anything else. I have everything else covered from there. All right, and I know White Daddy used to be in charge of the regattas. I have to say that is the one thing White Daddy didn't get done for me. But I remember Mario, the PE teacher. And when he was a PE teacher, we were friends. He's now Mario, the Minister of Regattas. And so to my friend Mario, your senior regatta friend, is here and available for you. Don't move. Eye on the Nation will be right back.
Eye on the Nation will be back right after these messages.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At VTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Bring your brand into focus and make your impact on the nation. Go all in with the Impact Bundle, featuring live liners and an in-studio interview. Prefer targeted reach? Audio plus digital delivers radio and digital placements. Or be seen with our television bundle with 20 TV ads across broadcast and streaming. Call 4-666-173. Eye on the Nation.
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller. And I see that the Ministry of Environment, but before we get into that, let me read this. Don't forget that with Canoe, Bahamian businesses can access their funds right at home. Enjoy faster payouts, process payments 24/7, and move money at your convenience. Bahamian business owners can accept payments online with Canoe. Explore Canoe's API and invoicing features to get paid locally and internationally. Canoe is a Bahamian fintech helping local merchants accept payments fast and easy. Canoe empowers entrepreneurs to get paid quickly and to grow. And for all your everyday needs, call Canoe. So back to where we were. Okay, so the Ministry of Environment has decided that they want to take a page out of Mr. Bryce's book. I don't know if anybody knows who Mr. Bryce is, but let me tell you, Mr. Bryce is the man from Epic. And who could recall, or who can't recall, the efficacy with which the Epic commercials kind of resonated with the Bahamian population because of the colloquial value, right? And so who could forget Kenny? Yo, they're giving that woman a jump in my car again. Mind one of these days you could be way out west and you could need a jump. And what you could do then? Woman, you too biggity. You remember that? And so it appears as though the Ministry of the Environment, in its genius, has decided that it's going to start a few of these public service announcements in an attempt to help people to become more aware of what exactly are some of the services available by the Ministry of the Environment to the Bahamian public. And if you move around this town, like I do, what you will find is that what I think is genius, the Ministry of the Environment has started to actually put in place bulk waste containment sites. I think it's phenomenal. I actually believe that you should do the same thing with household waste. I think this whole notion that a garbage truck could stop to every single house through every single corner is, for free, is the most scatterbrained thing I've ever thought about. I, for a very long time, believed that centralized waste collection was the best way to go about waste collecting. And you just have several centralized sites for mixed garbage or non-mixed garbage, and that would make the garbage collection so much easier. It would also reduce this massive rodent infestation issue we have, and that is because we circle ourselves in garbage. So each of the properties are 100 by 50. I got one garbage on this 50 foot, another garbage on another 50 foot, another garbage bin 50 foot from there, and then we wonder why the rats are taking over the place, right? But the Ministry of Environment has decided in its wisdom that what they're going to do is they're going to put some centralized transition hubs. So there's one in South Beach, I know that for sure, and I understand that there's now one on Joe Farrington Road. Is that Joe Farrington? That's not Joe Farrington. What is that? You know, the prison road, that one. And what they are encouraging the people to do is don't throw your old mattress them on the sidewalk. Don't throw, you know, the bed, the baby pee up, don't throw that outside. Call Uncle Bella, tell Uncle Bella, bring you that old F-150 he got. You all take the mattress, you don't have to worry about going to the dump, because you know that $3 to go across the dump bridge could kill you all. Take it right to the site where the people are collecting bulk waste, and now we don't have to worry about your community turning into a dump site. So here's the PSA from the Ministry of the Environment.
Hello.
This is Ms. Ferguson calling from the Ministry of the Environment and Natural Resources.
Environmental health?
Am I speaking with Ms. Evans?
Can I help?
We've received some complaints about mattresses, bulk waste, which consists of oversized household items left outside your residence.
I know nothing but no bunch of mattress. Well, the garbage I have here. It's just the truck ain't come yet. I manualized go carry it, you know, but I just have it here.
I do understand. Just to let you know, the garbage truck does not collect bulk waste.
Bulk waste?
We have authorized bulk waste transfer stations across New Providence where you can properly dispose of oversized items like mattresses.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can make sure I can take care of it. I can move it. Since you say you have, transfer site now?
We have one close to you, right on Yamacraw Hill Road.
I can move it. I can take care of it. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Evans.
All
Thank
right,
you very
then.
much, and take care.
Thanks. Charlie, come help me move this mattress. I gotta go care to the transfer station. I'm moving the mattresses now. Y'all don't have to call environmental help for me. I'm moving it now.
They calling you with mattress too?
Everyday mattress. Transfer stations are located in the following constituencies: Yamacraw, South Beach, Golden Isles, Centerville, Beantown, Grantstown, and St. Barnabas.
A genius idea, I believe, and of course genius marketing to go along with it. Again, I think it just simply reminds me of the good old days of the Epic battery commercial, which I also thought were genius. But again, centralized bulk waste stations make a whole lot more sense than the idea we once had where you had to call the phone, because we know government buildings can't answer phones, and you had to wait on someone to answer, and they had to schedule a day. And no, you just put the thing on Uncle Willie truck, and you and Uncle Willie go right to the centralized bulk station, and you never have to worry about your mattress being outside again. And to Bahamian people everywhere, I want to say, don't be mad at your neighbor when they call the people for these bulk waste. Because I want to tell you something. If you're my neighbor, please be advised that I intend to call the people for you for the bulk waste. And that's just the long and short of it. Because we have to ensure that the communities that we live in do not turn into a rut. And if I mind some of y'all will have me living on a what you call the thing? Anyway, in other news, I see that Doctors Hospital has lifted their mask ban. I'm not exactly sure where Doctors Hospital has been. I think the Minister of Health, sometime in his budget communication, had suggested or hinted that there was no more need for the mask ban, and that the science had proven that, people weren't in the state of transmission as they were in the hot flashing days of COVID. And so these are the kinds of times when I look at things and think to myself, I guess we bought too much paper this month. And when we buy too much paper, we then have to print silly things on the paper. So Doctors Hospital wants to advise us that, after much consideration, thought, a board meeting, several incidences of meeting with their top advisors, they want to say this, that effective immediately, asymptomatic patients, visitors, and associates at all Doctors Hospital health system facilities are no longer required to wear a mask. Yay! This charge aligns with the Ministry of Health and Wellness updated guidance, which has lifted the universal masking requirement for healthcare facilities throughout the Bahamas accordingly. Doctors Hospital Health System is returning to its pre-COVID masking policy and will continue to follow the standard precautions in accordance with current infection prevention and control guidance. Whoop-de-doo. Doctors Hospital, 10 points for finally... Maybe it was the $19 million they collect, You collect $19 million, you just want to write something. You say, oh, Jesus, $19 million. Give me some paper. Let me write something down that people already knew. I don't know where they were when the Ministry of Health said that is what the policy was. Because remember, it was the Ministry of Health that put the policy in place. So it should have been the Ministry of Health that repealed the policy. And I think Dr. Michael Darwell did that a couple of months ago. But welcome to the party, Doctors Hospital. We're so happy that you could join us. Please put your drinks over there at the back. Take your shoes off at the door, okay? All right, and in other news, what do we have? We have Dr. Sands, who I see is in the news again, being good old Dr. Sands. And I think this is where people like him, right? So Dr. Sands is saying that if you are out here, let me put this in simple English for you before I read what he says. If you are out here taking Ozempic or any other kind of Ampic because you don't want to carry you to the gym, or because you don't want to stop your neck from swallowing food, or because you decide that you and food have a love affair that you can't seem to get around, you are going to die a fat person. And if you decide that you're going to cheat and go and take Ozempic from people who only have a birth certificate and a health certificate because you want to look good, notwithstanding you don't feel good, you're probably going to also die. So make sure before you go taking, what is the name of the shot? Before you go taking the fancy shot, the GLP-1, be sure that the people that you are taking it from are actually certified practitioners with the necessary licenses to practice medicine. And he also discourages people from going to the esthetician, because esthetician is not medical professional. And I look at this all the time. We're in a fad now where everybody just wants to do everything that makes them feel good and nobody wants to actually put in the work to get anything done. The problem with that is, right, I see the people going and they having the doctor stitch their waist tight and take out their rib and all this other stuff. And every time I see one of these women walking around here looking like a main character from the story Ants, I think to myself, I wonder if she has a slim waist but a fat heart. And I think about that. We are going to have one bunch of cardiac arrests with people whose waist is a size 21. And it's going to be, in my view, something that is so sad. But I am advised, based on the story from Dr. Sands today, that the GLP-1 shot is a magic drug and that he has seen tremendous results from the drug from people that had cardiac problems and heart issues and diabetes, etc. And he does, in fact, recommend the GLP-1. What he's saying is don't go let your cousin Jamaican boyfriend give you the GLP-1 because he is not a certified practitioner. And if he's not certified, if he didn't go to a medical school, if the only thing he have is a birth certificate and a health certificate, and if he's never been anywhere where anyone at any time has ever trusted him to administer anything, then why would you go and sit in your Grammy front room on the chair with the plastic for him to give you the Ozempic or any other kind of Ampic, now that we're talking about it? And so I stand with Dr. Sands because, I am from a date and a time and a place when you had to actually strap tennis to your foot in order to make your waist small. I am from a time and a place when you actually had to put in the equal amount of miles to be able to adjust the calories. I am from a time and a place where the easiest way to lose the weight was to close the hole in your neck. And if you did that, it was possible that the weight would go away. But of course, in this new age and era, where everybody wants it, and they want it now, people are reaching for the things like the GLP-1 shot, which again, Dr. Sands is not recommending. He's simply saying, don't go for the GLP-1 where I see some of y'all going for these braces. Because I could tell from the way the teeth them ending that you might have wore braces, but that the person that put that on wasn't an orthodontist. And those things matter. Because the way you administer the formula largely determines the outcome. All right? So that's the warning from Dr. Sands. I'm almost out of breath on that. But notwithstanding that, I have some friends in studio. And I always love when my friends show up, because when my friends show up, sometimes they bring fancy things. And if they don't bring fancy things, at least they bring me good information. And so I'm joined here today by my friends. This is the friends of
the Bahama China
Friendship. That's what
Association.
It is. Yeah, the Bahama China Friendship Association.
Yes.
That's a big name.
It is.
What's your name? Firstly, tell me your name.
I'm Erica Monroe.
Erica Monroe.
I'm the Vice President for the Bahama China Friendship Association.
Okay, Erica Monroe, Vice President for the Bahama China Friendship Association. That's a big title. That's how I know you're big time. And you are?
My name is Valgina Gibson. I'm a marketing representative.
Okay.
I call Berry.
Valgina I like y'all. All right, so tell us a little bit about the Bahama China Friendship Association.
All right, well, we are going to be hosting our calligraphy sip and paint this Thursday, the 30th of July.
Okay.
It will be at the lovely...
When the 30th is? That's next week?
Yes, it is.
Next week, okay.
Next week, Thursday. And our home host is usually the Margaritaville. Beautiful, stunning Margaritaville.
Of course.
And this will be our 4th year in hosting this. It's quite an interesting event. This would be my 3rd time actually attending it.
Okay.
And I've attended it with my kids. They've enjoyed it. It's a night of fun. It's a night of being able to learn learn another language, I should say. And also, there's a little bit of dance in there as well. But we're also going to be having an auction.
Okay.
And it's going to be a live auction. And what we encourage persons to do, especially the corporate sector, we want the corporate sector to come out, because usually in the summer that's when persons decide or businesses decide that, hey, we're going to do something for our staff.
Sure.
And so we're inviting the corporate body to come out and enjoy.
So let's put it in Bahamian language for them now.
Okay.
So you all are having a mix and mingle.
A mix and mingle.
I like them kind of things, right? Friendly people is be there, and so it's a little bit of booze, right?
Well, yeah.
And then you have an opportunity for network and partnership.
We do.
Which is another thing I like.
Yes.
And if that ain't enough to make you come, we have 2 language.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
you could make friends in English, or you could make them in
Mandarin. That's
Fantastic.
correct.
Which is another reason to come. And it's going to be at the Margaritaville. Now, y'all going upstairs?
Yes, we are.
It's going to be a fantastic view.
It is.
Which is another reason to come. I mean, I can't run out of the reasons why you should come to this, right? Okay, so it's going to be Thursday. That's next week. Thursday the 30th. What time does it start?
It starts at 6:30.
6:30.
And the tickets for it is $100 per person.
Per person.
Yes.
Is there like a group rate? Like if I bring the Eye on the Nation team, do we get the Eye on the Nation team Deluxe Pro Max combo package plus?
I'm sure we can work that out for you.
Okay, good. So it's $100 per person.
Yes, it is.
I imagine that's, and I see you said sip and paint calligraphy, I think it was.
Yes, it is. So
Tell me about the calligraphy.
Normally persons will have events like sip and paint, just a sip and paint. Well, the specialty of it is you're going to be using these brushes, and you're going to actually be learning how to say Bahamian phrases in Mandarin.
Okay.
So phrases like "Well, mother sick."
Yeah, I can write that in Mandarin.
Yeah, you're going to learn how to write that in Mandarin, and also you will actually learn how to say it in Mandarin.
Yeah, you speak Mandarin?
Not as much. No, I've been trying to learn it, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Want to hear something fancy? I have a certificate that says I speak Mandarin. But that's what the certificate say. That ain't what I say.
That sounds lovely.
At one point. So Margaritaville next week Thursday, $100 per person.
Yes.
We know that calligraphy could be there.
Yes.
But I see Commonwealth Brewery.
Oh, yes.
Which means Tingam could be there.
They are our sponsors.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the Tingam that could be to this event.
So Gomel Bury, we are the title sponsors for the beverage portion of the event, and we're so happy to be on board again.
Yes.
Last year was my first time at the event, and we had a wonderful time. So we are excited and ready to go.
Did you learn Mandarin while you were there?
I wrote a few things.
Okay.
Madasit, and roach on your bread.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yeah. So I learned a few interesting Mandarin phrases, but we're excited to be a part of the event. So we'll have our wines,
Okay.
imagery, Mirabu, and imagery. We chose imagery specifically because imagery is brand profile, basically encompasses both wine and art. So
Okay.
this is perfect for the event.
Fantastic. What kind of wine is it?
So we'll have familiar grape varietals. We'll have Pinot Noir,
Okay.
Chardonnay,
Good Chardonnay.
Sauv Blancs,
Okay.
Cabernet Sauv, familiar wines.
How do people get in contact with the Bahama China Friendship?
You can go to our website, just Google in Bahama China Friendship Association, and you can actually go ahead and list. You can pick the tables that you want and go ahead and pay online.
All right. You hear the jingle? That means I gotta go to the break. The Bahama China Friendship are here. They having the thing Tuesday. It could be by Margaritaville. Y'all don't miss it. It's $100. Check out the website. We'll be back after this.
Eye on the Nation will be back right after these messages.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Bring your brand into focus and make your impact on the nation. Go all in with the Impact Bundle, featuring live liners and an in-studio interview. Prefer targeted reach? Audio plus digital delivers radio and digital placements. Or be seen with our television bundle with 20 TV ads across broadcast and streaming. Call 4-666-173. Eye on the Nation.
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller. And again, our friends from the Bahama-China Friendship Association, they popped in on us to tell us about their event that they're going to be having next week, Thursday. It's going to be at the Margaritaville. You should check out their website. And the ticket is $100. And $100 on a mix and mingle night for unlimited drinks and good conversation with people that have, you know, a particular skill, like a second language and business acumen, is actually a pretty decent investment. And the view at the Margaritaville is always to die for. So I think you all should give it a check out. But let's get back to what's happening in the news. I want to go back to Dr. Stans and the GLP, because I don't know if you all are taking this seriously enough. And I can tell you all are not taking it seriously enough by the amount of botched smiles that I see out there in the population. I want you all to take these kinds of things serious, because once you put it in, my friend, you can't take it out. And that is something that you have to definitely consider seriously. Because if you all let the GLP people do to y'all what you're letting the TEEP people do to y'all, I suspect that we are going to have great travesty. And I want to save you all from that. Because you know, plenty of y'all are walking around here looking like you could bite a 2x4 completely in half. In one single bite. And teeth shouldn't look that way. And you are somehow letting a Spanish doctor who can only say 2 words in English, which is thank you very much and please come again, tell you that this smile somehow looks ordinary, and it doesn't. And you look awkward. And your friends don't want to tell you. And apparently nobody in your church wants to tell you. And they just let you continue on like this. But the reason you could get away with that is because dine on your insides. And if you put things on your inside, my friend, that ain't good for you, it might mess up your whole insides. And you can't have that. So I'm with Dr. Sands on this one. I know you all sometimes think that medical professionals, because I think so, are a bunch of crooks who just want to somehow siphon money out of you, because I think that about them and the insurance companies, one in particular. But on this one, I stand with the good doctor. That when I look at how some of y'all that got hips like a horse and legs like a stick man, I realize that y'all are prepared to accept anything for a lower price. When I look at you and you walk in twists like a 1996 Maximus straight off a Copart, I realize that some of you all are prepared to take anything if the price is lower. And as I look at some of you, and yet you can't smile straight, if someone offered you $1 million, you couldn't make them teeth in your mouth line up. I am aware that some of you are prepared, my friends, to accept anything for a lower price. Not for my sake, man, for Christ's sake. For Christ's sake. If you care about your life and your safety, listen to Dr. Dwayne Sands. All right? I trust him. And I trust that you should trust him. Because I think that he's one of the most trusted people around here when it comes to medicine. That's my position on it. All right. And then I see somebody else had some paper to waste this week. The Ministry of Agriculture and, Marine Resources, issued a statement on dogs in the Bahamas and stray dogs. And anyway, here's what their statement said. The statement said, Jason Sands, Director of Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources. That's how you know he's a big-time dude, because he has a big-time title. Recent report in the news regarding attacks on a person by stray dogs are concerning and unacceptable. The Animal Control Act of the Bahamas requires that all dogs are licensed, spayed, and neutered. The dogs are identifiable and traceable to their owner, and the dogs are treated humanely. Only owners meeting certain criteria, quality, for exemptions from spay and neuter requirements for breeding purposes. The Animal Control Act also prevents ownership of dangerous and prohibited breeds of dogs. The Department of Agriculture wishes to assure the public that the Animal Control Unit has increased its enforcement activity by increasing its human resource and making investments in equipment required to apprehend stray dogs. However, the department recognizes that prevention is the more effective approach. To this end, the department is working with the Animal Protection and Control Board to increase its capabilities of enforcing the Animal Control Act. In August of 2026, we will commence a public service campaign to encourage responsible dog ownership. Boy, y'all got plenty of money for media, eh? Well, everybody have a robust public service campaign team now. Just to remind you of back in the day, you remember Save the Drama and Save the Trauma, because I don't want my mama wearing no armor, talking about we got to do this for us. It's time for us to look at us and do what we have to do to survive. You remember that? Could we also get some boots on the ground? All these bunch of video everybody could make all of a sudden. They're very nice. They're titillating. They make me feel good. I want to do nice things. Yay. Boots is how we get things done. Yeah? So right after you finish, because you all got more production team than Puff Daddy. Right after you finish with all these production, boots. That's how you get it done. The Ministry of Transport, boots. That's how you get it done. You got people flying up and down these bunch of random plane all over the place, boots. That's how you fix it. It is an age-old method. And it never gets old. Anything that you need to ensure happens, you make sure that you put boots on the ground to cause it to happen. Because things do not just happen by coincidence. They happen by influence and through enforcement. Anyway, so it goes on to say, let's go back. To this end, the department is working with the Animal Protection and Control Board to increase its capabilities of enforcing the Animal Control Act. In August 2026, we will commence a public service campaign to encourage responsible dog ownership and increase awareness of the legal requirements for dog ownership. Following this campaign, the department will introduce fixed penalties as allowed by the Animal Control Act. These fines will be issued to anyone found to be in breach of the Animal Control Act with regards to the requirements for licensing and keeping a dog. I just really hate when you all waste the government paper. My friend, you all can't enforce this nowhere from East Street to Quintine Alley, nowhere along Andres Avenue. No, 6 dogs live through Watland Street right now, and nobody know who dog they is. 6. We have Blackie, other Blackie, Brownie, Smallhead, Whitey, and other Whitey. And we can't tell you where these dogs come from. Nobody own them, and they sleep wherever night catch them. So who exactly are we going to account for the how? Who are we going to check? It sounds really good when you put it on a piece of paper. But we have a pot cake problem. So unless y'all plan to put down every dog y'all meet walking in Nassau, and then put like a corner warden on each corner to see who yard the puppy born. Because when you come through my corner, right? Blackie is in my yard every day. But Blackie ain't my dog. I just feed Blackie. I have a little plate for Blackie. I put a little water outside for Blackie. Blackie's sure that the dripping tap in my yard would have the bucket under it catching the water. He could go there and get a clean drink of water every day. But I'm telling you now, you better don't knock on my door about no responsibility for Blackie, because Blackie belonged to this corner. You see how when you all write things on the paper, you have to actually think about the culture, my friend. You can't just, PSAs are fantastic. Of course, you have to try to socially condition the people so that the culture changes. That is also terrific. But at some point, we have to just decide as a nation, we putting down dogs. It's as simple as that. And if one dog bites someone through this corner, every dog walking through this corner dead. It's as simple as that. And of course, then you have to make room, for dog lovers that at loose to come out here and scream bloody murder about, oh, Jesus, they're killing all the dogs. Well, you come adopt one. So we could put a call on him with your name on it. Because until then, I don't understand how. I don't care what y'all write in that act. How are we supposed to know who the 6th dog through Watland Street belonged to? And that's only on one side of Watland Street. What happened when you get to Watland Street and Wolf Road? Who own them 6 up there? And so, boy, I try with these people. These are the kinds of, I don't know why we waste paper writing this kind of stuff, but let me read the communication from Mr. Jason Sands, because Jason Sands sit down and write this whole thing. So Jason Sands must feel very strongly about this. Jason Sands goes on to say, commencing in August of 2026, there will be an amnesty period. Oh boy. Oh, would you look at that? An amnesty period. Oh boy. You don't go ask the gun people how good that is, YK. Narrow my God to thee. There will be an amnesty period where members of the public with dogs that have not been spayed or neutered will be encouraged to take their animals to the nearest veterinary clinic or the Humane Society to access these services. All dog owners with unlicensed dogs should obtain the required annual license from the Department of Agriculture. Let's work together to reduce the number of stray dogs and prevent the reported incidences of dog attacks and dog abuse. Let's become a nation of responsible dog owners. Okay, Jason, we hear you. But I'm telling you, Jason, I don't know, maybe you and Alice live the same place. This is not a practical strategy. And 5 years from now, Jason, you're going to need to print another 8x11 with this same bunch of rubbish on it. Because this will not fix the problem. The people ain't licensing this pot cake. This pot cake don't belong to them. No one know where the origin of this pot cake come from. This pot cake been living through here longer than some of the people through here. Who should register him, Jason? You tell us. Why don't we just make all the dog who don't have no tag, Jason dog? And that way now we know who owned the dog. So Jason, I got 6 dogs from through Watland Street coming to you next week. Because this don't make sense. This don't make sense. I can't spay a dog that I don't own. And then spaying the dog costs money. And I never bring the first dog here, so I don't know where these other 3 dogs come from. Who should pay to spay all these dogs when the minimum wage is only enough for me to be able to afford the $6 gas, which is about the same amount of money per gallon as the minimum wage? Jason? You see how this don't fit into the culture, Jason? They let you write this? Ah, boy. Anyway, as if he couldn't stop making the news, he's making the news again. The pilot accused of the LPIA murder has been sentenced to 6 months in prison. Guess what for this? This boy, boy, they might have put him in an action movie at this point. Like, I just can't take too much more of him. He's just starting to work on my nerves, right? So not only is he accused of murder and flying hundreds of metric tons of cocaine up and down, and now he got dope in jail. I mean, and this is the same fellow who just applied, I think it was July 15th, for a bail hearing before the Supreme Court about why he can't or don't need to be in jail, and how jail is such a dangerous place for him to stay, and how he need to do whatever he can do to get out of jail. But somehow, we can't get you to stop doing crime in jail. And we must let you come back out here. You stay right in the calaboose. That's what we want for you. You and all your friends, calaboose. And that's where you're going to be for the next 6 months. We ain't got to worry about you. And that should be right around the time when you apply for your bail to the Privy Council or something. But jail is where you should be for a little bit, at least this for 6 months. Because I don't know. I mean, you must be Solomon Grundy. I've never seen one person woven into so many accusations of crime on such a broad spectrum. I mean, how many? I mean, O.J. Simpson ain't had it this bad. How could you be charged, accused of flying cocaine? That wasn't enough crime for you. You was accused of sweethearting, or being the victim of sweethearting anyway. That wasn't enough for you. Like, most people's story only have one thing in it. Why does this story have all? Then they accuse you of murder. Then they accuse you of colluding with senior police officers to not be prosecuted for murder. And now you got drugs in your cell too? You don't think at some point it might be enough to just like stop at some point? I don't know. I don't know how you do the math, but I don't know who else could be accused of this many things at one time. Nobody I ever know has been fighting this many things at one time. They might actually need to have a prayer meeting for you. And we might need to call on the Mothers of Zion. Yeah. That's what I think you need. I think the Mothers of Zion should come and travail on your behalf. Yeah. But because obviously, this must be over. It has to be. More news from the crime beat. A man has been accused of breaching his bail conditions some 66 times. Let's go to the clip.
Meanwhile, Donovan Higgins, a 28-year-old man accused of attempted murder and firearm possession, is back behind bars after prosecutors allege he breached the terms of his bail. According to prosecutor Shaquelle Forbes, Higgins allegedly failed to sign in at a police station 66 times between February 18th and July 17th. Higgins denied the accusation at his arraignment before senior magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. He was denied bail and his trial is set for August 21st. The accused was previously remanded to prison after prosecutors alleged that he shot Archelaus Thompson in the neck in 2022. Police officers allegedly found Higgins with a loaded handgun when they arrested him.
And so now I must call on the Director of Public Prosecutions, right? Because I'm beginning to notice a trend. The gentleman accused of murder last week missed his bail signing in 81 times. Cousin here missed his own 66 times. These double digits. Madam Director of Public Prosecutions, man, we got something to hold them on now. Breach of condition of bail is an arrestable offense. I say this weekend, and for the rest of July, let's see if we could figure out how to keep crime down. For the rest of July, you create a task force to go by every police station, one by one, and just look for who all breach bail. And we just go on a locking up rampage from now until crawfish season. And we should have the jail stacked tight. Don't clear us up one room. We on our way. Madam Director of Public Prosecution, we have to put a hand on it. We cannot have people laughing in the face of justice like that. I mean, you could go kill people's children. You shoot the boy in the neck. That's what the story say, right? He shoot the boy in his neck. The judge say, oh, we can't let you stay in jail because, you know, you deserve bail. Fine. But you could just go traipsing up and down past the police station and never sign in one, because you assume you are bigger than justice. And so when you assume you are bigger than justice, we have to prove to you that you certainly are not. And so to the prosecuting department or the prosecution department of the Bahamas Judiciary, I got some work for y'all to go do. Find yourself 10 hotshot lawyers and 2 retired police. I mean, maybe like a senior one, right? And y'all just go by these police stations and y'all don't stop looking through these logbook until y'all have every single person who breached bail. And then I want y'all to get one bunch of big door kicking down police and find y'all 2 healthy justices of the peace to just ride around with y'all all day, stamping warrants, because we kicking down people's door and we putting them in the calaboose. This is what you have to, if criminals are permitted to run rampant, right? And we just let them do whatever they like. And they just breach bail and don't sign in and because if you're breaching your bail this casually, what else you doing? Where else you going? How much other bail conditions are you not adhering to? You probably ain't plugged this ankle monitor in a month, and we only ain't know that because they get these contract to their friends, so no one ever really monitors it until the fella is dead in the bush for 3 days with an ankle monitor and nobody notices. So don't pretend like, oh, he's on an ankle monitor. Yeah, we've seen that not work before. But when you test the system is supposed to crush you under its weight. That is what's supposed to happen. So, mister, I missed my bail signing 66 times. I shouldn't hear from you no more for the next 66 weeks. We should be sure exactly where to find you every time we look for you. Right there in the auspices of His Majesty. And so, Madam Public Prosecutor, or DPP, however you prefer to be called, I petition you, for my sake and on behalf of the sake of the crown and the people of this great Commonwealth, it's time to round these boys up and put them in the cage where they belong. But because when we permit them among ordinary people, they prove to us how unordinary they are. And if they're going to continue this unordinary behavior, then it is my position that they ought to be among their other unordinary friends doing unordinary things. So him, Mr. 66 miss, Mr. 81 miss, and this pilot who can't seem to find which way is the right direction, even if he uses a radar, you make sure all of them in the calaboose together. That is what we require from you. All right? News from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement today. Let's see if I can find the statement. What did it say? And they're talking about the apprehension policy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which, I don't know. I mean, it's amazing how Bahamians say that they want to enforce the law, and then when the law is enforced, they say, oh, we're enforcing it too stringently, and we need more. Do we have the statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? And my thing is, you've got to kind of pick a side, right? Because either we're going to enforce the law or we're not going to enforce the law, and Bahamians should decide that quickly. We shouldn't have to continually go back and forward about whether or not something is too stringent, whether or not something is too heavy, whether or not we're enforcing it too heavily handed, la da 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 da. The Bahamas is a place of law and regulations. The Ministry of Immigration or Department of Immigration has a job to do. When it's time to do that job, sometimes that job could get hot and heavy. We try our best not to infringe on people's constitutional and human rights. And as a consequence of that, we try to do everything within the letter of the law. There are times when the enforcement of law offends people, and that's just law enforcement. If we are found to be at fault, then we will amend our ways and pay whatever the damages are. Notwithstanding that, though, we intend to enforce the law. I'm trying to find the statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today, from the Minister of Immigration. What is his name? Darren Pickstock, who kind of made a statement, reference some of the claims that have been coming. I don't have it. That have been coming out of mainstream media and people pushing back against the Ministry of Immigration, Department of Immigration rather, and the enforcement of the law. And here's the thing. The thing is, we all appear to want apprehension of Haitians until it's our Haitian. We all appear to want the deportation of immigrants until it's our Filipino maid, or until it's our Honduran fisherman, or until it's our Dominican diver. And Bahamians have to cut out the duplicitousness. Do you remember all along the campaign trail, you all scream to holy hell about, oh my God, the immigrants are taking over. You all let Tingham with no children tell you all about how the Haitians taking over. And I keep telling you all, I don't listen to people who don't have no children tell me nothing but no Haitian taking over nothing, because you could go home and make one Bahamian right now. I so talented, if I go home hard enough, I'll make two. But we let them feed us with this anxiety about somehow immigrants are taking over the Bahamas. And even though the immigrants start off with far less allowances than us as Bahamians, we somehow claim they're taking over the place. And when the Immigration Department decides that, okay, we hear you all, we agree with you all, we don't want the immigrants taking over the place, you know what we then do? We then decide that we need to complain. So the Immigration Department released a statement that said, the enforcement of our country's immigration laws and policies remain a key priority of the Davis administration. In recent months, the Bahamas Immigration Department has intensified surveillance and enforcement activities, resulting in a record number of deportations and individuals brought before the courts for breaches of the Immigration Act. Our success is due to tireless efforts of the men and women of the department. In protecting our borders, immigration officers often work under demanding and at times dangerous conditions. As surveillance efforts have increased, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration acknowledges that several complaints alleging mistreatment and, in some instances, physical abuse have been made. While the Ministry and the Department will not comment on any specific complaint under investigation, it is important to remind members of the public that every allegation is treated with the utmost seriousness. Further, in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, every complaint is subject to a thorough and impartial review. For the avoidance of doubt, appropriate action is taken where the mistreatment and physical abuse is confirmed and where the allegations are false. Our policies and practices will always be guided by the protection of our borders, respect for human dignity, and due process. The Bahamas Department of Immigration will continue to uphold the rule of law and ensure the fair and objective investigation of all complaints. And so, like I said, the job of law enforcement is to disrupt. when you start to disrupt people in their normal flow, those people oftentimes become offended. And when you offend those people, oftentimes they complain. And they have the right to complain, and when they do so, the complaint will be investigated. And in the off chance that the investigation unfolds, that some misfeasance happened as a result of officers executing their duty, the policies, the regulations speak to how these things ought to be cured. And I think time and time again we've proven, like we've recently seen in the Privy Council ruling, the rule of law works even against those in law enforcement. But you will not be allowed to keep your favorite Haitian. Oh no! Big Bad Chad Adams and the Waist Snatching Brigade is coming together. We'll be back after this.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At VTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Bring your brand into focus and make your impact on the nation. Go all in with the Impact Bundle, featuring live liners and an in-studio interview. Prefer targeted reach? Audio plus digital delivers radio and digital placements. Or be seen with our television bundle with 20 TV ads across broadcast and streaming. Call 4-666-173. Eye on the Nation.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levin Miller, and before we get out of the gate, let me tell you that with Canoe, Bahamian businesses can access their funds right at home, enjoy faster payouts, process payments 24/7, and move money at your convenience. Bahamian business owners can accept payments online with Canoe. Explore Canoe's API and invoicing features to get paid locally and internationally. Canoe is the Bahamian fintech helping local merchants accept payments fast and easy. Canoe empowers entrepreneurs to get paid quickly and to grow. All right, and what else is happening in the news? I see that the PHA, this must be, let's see who all could waste the government paper day. The PHA has released a press statement that says that the Public Hospitals Authority successfully completes installation of a new electrical automatic transfer switch system at, that don't sound big and fancy? That don't sound big and fancy? Let me read the heading again. That's a big fancy title, eh? Wow. Ah, boy, the Public Hospitals Authority successfully completes installation of a new electrical automatic transfer switch system, at the Princess Margaret Hospital. You know what I mean? That mean you ain't gonna come outside when it's raining no more to click the switch up to cut the power on in the hospital. But these don't come standard. I thought when you order a generator for like a health facility, it automatically come with the transfer switch. Someone buy the generator without the transfer switch? That's what y'all do? Who in charge of the PHA? Let me see who signed this. Sometimes when you consume news as entertainment, right? Because I don't watch TV, I watch the news. If you come to my house, I'm watching like Newsmax and Caribbean news. I like to watch Caribbean news, and I also watch local news, right? But I also like to watch the Ghetto News Network that you all run on Facebook, because you all somehow know better than every newsroom in the Bahamas what's going on around here, including the side story. That's the reason I like to watch you all, because the newsroom know the news, and then you all know the news and the side story, right? I remember, walk with me through this. Let me translate this for you all. The primary medical facility of the Bahamas is pleased to announce that after being in existence for 60 years, the generator would be had. We now don't have to go outside to cut it on. I mean, I don't get it. So the press statement reads, the Public Hospitals Authority is pleased to announce the successful completion and installation of the new electrical automatic transfer switch, the EATS, system at Princess Margaret Hospital. The PHA recognizes that the installation works required careful planning and temporary adjustments to normal hospital operations, and we sincerely thank our employees, patients, families, and all members of the PMH community for their patience, understanding, and cooperation throughout the process. We also extend our heartfelt appreciation to our external partners, contractors, technical teams, and other stakeholders who worked collaboratively, don't you love that word, with the PHA and the PMH teams to ensure the successful execution and completion of this important project. Wow, this is beautifully written. They talking about a box, you ain't believe this. Let me tell you what this is. This is a box would hook up onto the generator, which you hook up onto the breaker panel. So when the power in the breaker panel go off, you ain't gotta touch nothing. It is send a signal to this box. What this cut? This is what they put in. They haven't. They throwing confetti in the air over there by PMH. I can't believe this. But let me go on. The thing have more words on it. Hold on. It says, the Public Hospitals Authority remains committed to working collaboratively. Oh, they learned that word this week. Working collaboratively with our employees, patients, partners, and the wider community as we continue to modernize and improve our healthcare infrastructure and facilities. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, just absolutely outstanding. PMH somehow after all this time finally realized that no one will have to go look for the umbrella to cut the generator on when it rained. Yay, yay, yay. Oh boy. Welcome to 2026 PMH. We're so happy. We're so happy to have you join us. Apparently, you and Doctors Hospital, you all must have been in the same time zone because I don't know. But at least it's done. So you don't have to worry about the power going off long no more over by PMH because, hallelujah, dying the glory, they have a transfer switch. What they call it? The EAT. It didn't sound fancy. I know some hosts through Quintine Alley that have this. I know some hosts through Quintine Alley that have this. I appreciate you all. Anyway, White Daddy is back in the news. The Minister of Works. I love him so much. He's such a great guy. White Daddy said, don't try lie on us. Ministry of Works, we don't have no jurisdiction over no private property. I don't know what y'all talking about. So he's denied the allegations that the Ministry of Works somehow had any doing, handling, or participation in the removal of the shrine that was left in memorial of the 4 girls that died on the spot at Shirley Street, and of course, subsequently leading to the death of the 5th person in the car crash in hospital, right? We know that the people are from the small community of Kidd Island. Again, we extend our condolences to that community. It's a very small community, and so we understand the magnitude of losing such young people in such a tragic fashion in such large numbers. But there's been a kerfuffle of sorts that has kind of gotten out of hand in the public domain, right? The people that own the property say, Dan, move it. The contractors say, Dan, move it. The Ministry of Works say, Dan, move it. So, well, who move it? My Grammy would say in this moment, did the things them get up and walk? Did the memorial get up and walk? Here's what the Minister of Works had to say.
The ministry doesn't, we don't get involved in any of that. So the ministry wasn't sanctioned to move anything, especially a memorial site like that. So we put out a statement. Well, we spoke to, I think it was the Tribune yesterday, asked us the same question. So we're not aware of anyone moving and it's private property as well. So the ministry wouldn't go and move anything off of someone's private property like that.
Clay say, hey, whoa. I had to tell the Tribune from yesterday, it ain't us. I hear they say it ain't them. Boy, I can't tell you nothing but them. I can tell you this, it ain't us. And this is why I think that at this point, I now want to summon the Minister of Urban Renewal and Community Relations. Dear Madam Minister, now is a wonderful time for your ministry to intervene. It is times like these when the Minister of Urban Renewal because your ministry new, so no one even know what it is do. So you could just make up the things you just do. When people move memorial and the whole community mad, the Ministry of Urban Renewal and Community Relations, I want y'all go down there, make nice marshmallow hot chocolate, talk to everybody, make sure calmer heads are prevailing, and let's find out as a community, how do we get beyond this point? That's what I want y'all to do down there by the Urban Renewal Ministry. Because no one's sure exactly what it's supposed to do. Everywhere I go and people ask, and I told them, and I've been defending this ministry since its establishment. Because it is new, many times people think that it's unnecessary. But there's so many little nuances in running a small island developing nation like ours that a Ministry of Urban Renewal, particularly if we're going to grow these islands into small metropolises, can do, right? Like reurbanization and the modernization of old town communities like Shirley Street. And so, Madam Minister, here's a free one for you. Why don't you identify a piece of land somewhere that people think is important, and you build one big wall, and we could call it the National Monument of Memory or Memorial. And we could put everybody in the Bahamas that ever died in a plane crash, everybody in the Bahamas that ever died in a car crash, everybody in the Bahamas that ever died in a boat crash, or anything we ever thought was tragic. We could just put their name on a wonderful marble plate on one single site somewhere in Nassau, and it'll be there for people to visit, tourists to visit, people who won't go lay wreath. If your dog dead from he getting knocked down with a car, you could go lay the wreath there for him too. Everybody could carry their wreath one place. And we don't ever have to go through this whole REIT on the side of the road thing no more, because the truth of the matter is, when you remove the emotion from the memorial, it becomes somebody's responsibility to move. And many times, the people that end up having to move it, sometimes paying to have it removed, are not the people that put it there or the family. And so, Madam Minister of Urban Renewal, please turn your radio up. I feel like you might be listening. This good in the car time. What happened to my voice? Heal my voice. In Jesus' name, amen. Build us a monument. Isn't that what they command the Israelites to do? That as you cross the Jordan, stack up the stones. Where my Church of God people is? Stack up the stones so that when the children of Israel pass by here and ask, what meaneth these stones? They could say that these are the stones that represent the time that God brought the children of Israel over the water and onto dry land. And that's what the scriptures say, something like that. Well, you go build us one. You take little something out your budget. I don't know. Where would be a good place to put it? The mall yard? Give me a good local. Put it Clifford Park. I solved it. Build us a nice big marble memorial right on Clifford Park. And who knows, since the largest tragedy of the country's history was on Independence Day to date, it could be added to the Independence Day celebration. And we could have the Independence Day midnight wreath laying memorial where families from all across the Bahamas who have ever suffered tragedy could come and lay a wreath in memorial of the people or the loved ones they've died. And don't tell me, oh, but that's so insensitive. That's not where the tragedy happened. Man, well, then they have the tomb of the lost soldier, the eye where he died, but they put the tomb of the lost soldier there that is never unmanned, and the U.S. Army spends hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to man a tomb with nobody in it. So don't tell me nothing about the site that the tragedy happened. It's a memorial, so that we never forget, so that people always remember. And I think that the Ministry of Urban Renewal, this falls fantastically within your remit, because it doesn't exist. And since your ministry didn't exist, you could make up things and say, this is what we just do. And I think this is a good place to start. All right. So since White Daddy was in the news, and we like talking about him so much, I see that he is at it again. And they are starting the flood mitigation and remediation project in Pinewood. And all I want to say to the best minister of works that this country has ever seen, to the most dynamic, to the most vivacious, to the most sociable, to the most likable, to the most outstanding minister of works this country has ever had, is, man, Clay, please remember me. I right next door. We in South Beach. We this flood too. The water has come to our knee. All right? And my ma house in South Beach. And that does flood. And the water has come to her knee. And I only have one ma, or at least that's what she keep telling me. And so, Clay, just trench the trench. Right across the road, it's only another 200 feet. And put the tube right there by South Beach. Since y'all building all them sidewalk to case the water in so it can't go to the mangrove no more, like y'all really want the people of South Beach to drown, help me out by putting one or two of these little tubes in South Beach so our water could go to the lift station too. But let's see what the ministry and its team have to say.
There is a catchment area that's going to be constructed. That area will capture all the rainfall that accumulates within a certain zone once that takes place. The lift station then would, once water reaches a certain level within that catchment, the lift station would activate and pump that water out and discharge it away from the area that is flooding to an area that can receive that rainfall.
Locating every single well and drain on the island of New Providence, documenting the depth of the well, when was the last time the well was maintained, and if the well has to be maintained. If the well has to be redug, we then schedule for the well to be redug. So we have mapped out everything. We could, like I said, we can also present a copy of it so that you have it to show residents of New Providence that we are actively out every single week working to ensure that all of the drains and wells are located in New Providence. It is going to help mitigate some of the flooding issues that we have, because as you can see, the cause is because some of the drains have to be.
get started and look to have
And so it appears as though the Ministry of Works has broken out every drain clearing team they could rally together, right? And I want to say to them that I think that this is a fantastic idea. Finally, they are just doing what it was that we had asked them to do a long time ago. When all the engineer them, I like when the engineer them people tell me what can't work. You know the worst kind of engineer in the world to have around you? An engineer that could always tell you why a piece of engineering cannot work rather than telling you what it would take for him to get it to work. Because that would actually make you an engineer. If all you could give me is the schematics and the formula for why the thing I need can't work, I want lost you somewhere, Mr. Engineer. And so for a very long time, it had been said that if you displace the water, because physics is that simple, water just needs to be displaced. If you flood one place and you displace water, you now no longer have a flood. But somehow it took them 15 years to figure this out. But praise the Lord, God is still on the throne. Finally, they figured out that if you simply displace water, there will be no flooding. And so they're going to use some mechanical pumps, right? You saw in the early days, they used to use the pump trucks. Of course, there is the issue of cross-contamination with that. But now they're going to dedicate a whole system in Pinewood. They're going to put deep wells in and lift stations in. And in case you don't know what a lift station is, it is a deep tank that you kind of just pour water in, pour water in, pour water in. And then when the water gets to a certain level, there's a pump that takes the water and pumps it to some other facility away from where the collected area is. Then if you do that, that should actually work. My prayer, Mr. Minister, Mr. Best Minister of Works ever. I've never seen, other than Bradley Roberts, I don't even remember who else was the Minister of Works around here. Only two Minister of Works in my whole life's history I could even recall, and that's Bradley Roberts and Clay Sweden. And to be quite honest, Clay Sweden, now that I'm looking at you, I feel like you at least better looking than Bradley. So I feel like you were ahead of him by at least a nose. And so with that, Minister of Works, I only petition you, please, not for my sake, but for Christ's sake. Man, come right over in South Beach and help us out and just run the same tube. We need no new tube. We can use the same lift station, sir. Just trench us 200, but 2,000. 2,000 more for the pipe and come right South Beach, sir. And we will forever be in your debt. Please. I live South Beach Drive. It ain't far. It's right there. Once you see the police station, be right across the road. All right, sir? I believe you can get that done for me. And so I'm very optimistic about this project. To the people of Pinewood, I think that Help and Hope is finally on the way. I think that relief is within sight. I think that there's no more jaw-jawing, like the old people would say, and that there's actually some real progress that's going to be taking place in your community. And I'm eternally grateful because I go to Pinewood all the time. And I think that along with this whole lift station idea, Ministry of Works, while y'all got your team out there, look at some of these roads, because some of these roads have what you call valleys in them. And because the valley is in the road, the water have to, collect. And if that happens, well, the water probably can't even get to your little well, and that's where the pooling kind of happens. All right, we got one last thing, and I think this is something that I'm watching, because I remember that it was Ace Newbold that came up with the concept of a press officer for the government, kind of like what we see in the American politics. Of course, when he introduced it, Bahamians couldn't necessarily conceptualize it. Of course, he was succeeded by Clint Watson, who I think did a fairly decent job. And then, of course, he was succeeded by LaDre Raming, who proverbially became the Olivia Pope of the Progressive Liberal Party, right? Notwithstanding that, I don't know where we are with the press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister anymore, right? I see the name has changed to Communications Director sometimes. I think there is still a press secretary, I think. I'm not sure. But I know that there's a Communications Director. And the reason I thought we created that was because we didn't want ministers taking responsibility for their own branding. Well, my friend, I can tell you right now, Clay Sweeten has thrown that out of the door because TikTok Daddy don't mess around. I'm going to change his name to Clay, the white TikTok Daddy, because we have the other TikTok Daddy, right? So he have to be Clay, the white TikTok Daddy, because Clay on every TikTok trend they got. I don't know when he's find time to go to the Ministry of Whites, because if you look at him, he on TikTok, right? But I think he's doing a fantastic job. But I also note that many of the other members of Parliament appear to be guiding their own public relations. So much so that when you get invited to an official event these days and there are ministers of the government there, when you work in the space that we're in, you become accustomed to identifying certain faces. So, you know, these two people are with ZNS, these two people are with the other people, these two people are with those other people. But as you look around the room now, you see a team of 5 or 6, and they're there with the minister. I mean, to catch him from every angle, to catch the crescendo of his speech. One fella there to hold the light over him. I mean, this is something special, right? I mean, and I get it. In this social world, you do want to kind of tell your own story. I'm just wondering, 1, what does that do for the office of the press secretary? And 2, what do we do if that slides off the cliff? Because, you know, you can't really take it back once you put it in social media. And that's kind of the way social media works. It's a blessing, but it's also a curse. And so I saw this from the Minister of Transport that I thought was reasonably decent, but I just wondered, are we putting checks and balances in place to make sure that people don't just do whatever they want because they could control their own social media? Let's take a look at it.
Hello, Bahamas. I'm Leon Lundy, Minister of Transport, and welcome to the first edition of the Lundy Link. I believe people should know what their government is working on and how those efforts affect everyday life. Each week, I'll share some of the work taking place across the Ministry of Transport and throughout the Central, Mangrove Key, and South Andres constituency. We continued our National Road Safety Campaign, One Life, Too Many. Every time someone chooses to slow down, buckle up, avoid distractions, or never drink and drive, it makes our roads safer to everyone. Those decisions matters because every life matters. I also spent time in Grand Bahama meeting with stakeholders and colleagues as we continued advancing transportation priorities for the island. Those discussions help move projects forward and ensure we are responding to the needs of the people we serve. It was also a pleasure to stand alongside my colleagues, Minister Glenys Hanna Martin and Minister Ginger Moxie, as we continued promoting the One Life, Too Many campaign. Our thoughts remain with the families affected by the recent aircraft accident in San Andres. The Air Accident Investigation Authority has begun its work, and we will continue providing confirmed information as it becomes available while respecting the integrity of the investigation. I'd also like to extend condolences again to all those families affected by the traffic fatalities throughout the country. In Andres, I was also pleased to join the unveiling of Andres's Icon sign, its new landmark in Fresh Creek, created by Bahamian artist Jamal Road. It is another positive addition to the community and another step in creating spaces our people can be proud of. As always, there is plenty more work ahead. We will continue our road safety outreach, advance the ministry's priorities, and keep working on behalf of the Bahamian people. I appreciate the opportunity to keep you informed about the work we're doing, and that's exactly what this series will be all about. Until next week, stay safe, make good choices, and remember, stay tuned in to the next Lundy Link.
Hey, massively executed production. It's fantastic. I mean, different scenery, you know, kind of telling you about all the things that has happened in his ministry over the last month. But again, I think it's new, right? It's certainly more accepted than the office of the press secretary. Certainly, there's no one single person to attack because the press secretary kind of just becomes the whipping boy for the ministers because, quite honestly, he can't give a full account of all the things that would happen or the goings on of any ministry at a moment's notice, he would need to at least be appraised by the minister. And so I thought this was interesting. I thought it was interesting that I see this. I think that Bahamian politicians are actually setting this as a trend of sorts. I note that in Jamaica, the Jamaican opposition appear to have a couple of its members who seem very social media savvy, so much so that some of them want to go live from in the parliament. But this is an interesting turn of events where I guess ministers are no longer permitting the public to say at the end of a 5-year period that they've done nothing. And they will have a catalogued set of thumbnails about what exactly it is they've done for the last 60 months. Anyway, you hear that jingle. That jingle means I'm going to the break. You don't have to go anywhere. I'm Nathan Miller. This is Eye on the Nation. We'll be right back.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At VTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Bring your brand into focus and make your impact on the nation. Go all in with the Impact Bundle, featuring live liners and an in-studio interview. Prefer targeted reach? Audio plus digital delivers radio and digital placements. Or be seen with our television bundle with 20 TV ads across broadcast and streaming. Call 4-666-173, Eye on the Nation.
Imagine an event where entry is as effortless as a wristband scan. Calling all businesses and event organizers because selling tickets has never been smoother. With Canoe, effortlessly sell tickets online and accept payments via debit cards, credit cards, Canoe Wallet, or even Sand Dollars. From payment links to QR codes, track your sales digitally, making event organization a phenomenal experience. And that's not all. Canoe is giving you more. If you're offering food, drinks, or must-have merchandise at your event, Canoe takes it to the next level. Customers can seamlessly pay using wristbands, QR codes, or their Canoe digital wallet. No more long lines, no more waits. Just happy customers and a boost in sales. With Canoe, your event becomes a breeze. Cashless, worry-free, and simply unforgettable.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road annual back to school sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, school neckties, PE shorts, and a variety of colors and school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's annual back to school sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's annual sale now.
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller. And, of course, before we open the phone lines, I've got one more in the chamber for you. I see that there are now calls for a mandatory pension in the private sector. Let me just flat out say that I do not disagree. I also hear the conversation about how will it be administered. I think that that is something that has many avenues that can be considered. But, of course, Mr. Keith Davies is in the news saying this, and let's hear what he thinks about the pension possibilities in the Bahamas.
A renewed calls tonight for government to make it mandatory for the private sector to create pension plans for its employees. Bahamas International Securities Exchange CEO Keith Davies making the push to finally end a 20-year wait for progress on the issue. It follows the Securities Commission's proposal that all private employers be required by law to establish pension or retirement savings plans, which he believes spur at growth in Bahamian capital markets.
I think it's important for the government to think of putting in place legislation that essentially makes it mandatory for individuals to put aside something for their future. Because if you don't do it, then the public is forced to do it for you in other ways, in terms of taking care of your needs, taking care of your medical expenses, taking care of your living arrangements. And so individuals need to take responsibilities for themselves, and this makes it happen.
Davies says the funds saved by those employees can be used to create financial stability with their primary income generating years behind them.
What a pension plan that is mandatory does is that it forces the individual to put that money aside. And when you put that money aside, that money needs to be invested. Of course, the stock market is a viable option. Investments run the gamut. They are private to public. There's and even government. So the market provides an avenue for those funds to be deployed. The market is a wonderful environment because it is regulated. It has transparency. It has a level of fairness in it, and it's managed by professionals. And so when you have pools of funds that are now being required to be put aside, you now have to deploy them somewhere. What that does is that it stimulates new products and services to be developed to receive those funds. Individuals now have to manage those funds. And of course, the market is there to absorb those structures that are then created and allows those funds to work for the individuals.
I think it's at its core, I think it's a decent idea. I mean, so the way my brain works is immediately when I hear an issue, my brain thinks about how to fix it. I would just put the money in NIB. I would call it the Public Pension Investment Plan. It's not to be confused with your NIB old age pension plan. And then that pension plan account, I would actually let that have an investment portfolio. But I would actually take, 30% of it and put it into a self-insurer's, some sort of savings, right? That way, because one of the things that people care about most when they leave their employment is insurance. If you self-insure from young people to old people, that should keep the money cycle coming. And if you buy investment portfolios, those investment portfolios like the one we just did with the solar system company and the other power company that bought out its shares or sold shares for the electrical upgrade, you buy some shares in those kinds of things, you should actually, rack up a pretty decent portfolio of revenue. If you consider the fact that as people go through the work cycle, there'll be people that pay 25, 35 years before they even get at the end. When they get at the end, there will be an allotted amount that will also be, or will not stop their old age pension, so they could kind of collect dual pensions. You could kind of give them one on the 15 and one on the 28. I think it's a pretty brilliant idea and something that's worth hashing. I don't know if I want to give it to any private company, because the problem I have with private companies is private companies around here do not necessarily give a flying frisbee about people. Yeah, I was at a big private company today that thought it, they thought it unreasonable that they should take a $10 loss and that somehow a common man should take the $10 loss, although they run a major conglomerate. And so that's why I don't really care for big private companies around here. But, no, I think it's a fantastic idea. And I think that Bahamians everywhere, right-thinking Bahamians everywhere, should actually support the idea. And I don't see why. And NIB has a board. The board is an impartial board. It is a board that renews itself every 3 to 5 years. And the board always has a chairman. It has structure already. The board already has the power to invest. It also has the power to own its own accounts. I think the safest place to put it is where you're putting all the money anyhow. And I think that NIB ought to have a requirement to match the amount, whether it is by 10% or by 20% annually or biannually, as the government's way of kind of proving that it cares about people, because the government will also be the beneficiary of the dividends from the investment, and they could put that back in their accounts to stop them from going insolvent. All right, so let's put up the flyer so that I could get these things out of the way. Here's what's happening with us next week. We're going to be down in the Coral Harbor Plaza with the guys from All the Smoke. That's going to be Wednesday of next week and Friday of next week. Next week is Power Pack. You know, next week is Regatta Week as well. So right after you leave this event, the next day you could wake up and go to Regatta. So we're going to be with the guys from All the Smoke down there. What is that? We're going to be down there with the guys from All the Smoke. And then we're going to be the China-Bahama Friendship. They're going to have their event. That's going to be next week, Wednesday. Do we have their flyer? Let's go with their flyer. That's going to be at the Margaritaville. Of course, and you know, they were here with us earlier. The price is $100. That is a very small flyer. I can't read that. Let me see. So the flyer says, I tried to get the flyer, guys. I thought I'd be able to read it from there. I don't see it. All right, so the flyer reads, the Calligraphy and Wine Tasting 2026 Bahama-China Friendship Association, celebrating the friendship between the Bahamas and China through culture, art, and fine wines. It's going to be Thursday, July 30th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. And again, it ends at 10 p.m. That's a nice little, you know, shotgun liquor drinking event. I like those kinds. I like to kind of have the liquor in by 10. I could leave and go home by 10:30 and get to bed by 11. And they have curated wine selections, Chinese calligraphy demonstrations, silent art auction, and door prizes. And then they have individual tickets at $100, $1,000 for corporate tables. That's with 10 people at it. Of course, if you heard about it on this show, who knows? You could tell them you heard about it on Eye on the Nation. They say they might have the Eye on the Nation Super Deluxe Pro Max Discount Plus. And it's sponsored by the Commonwealth Brewery. And they invite you all to attend. It's at the Margaritaville. You can't forget what it is. They have wonderful parking. The parking is paid, and it's all going to be, what you call it, swipe? What you call it when you can't pay with cash? Don't carry no money to Margaritaville. Carry the plastic. You need that by Margaritaville. And then we have, the wine selection is available at 700 wines and spirits. So whatever wine you feel like you want to go and try before the event, you just go and you try the wine. And then that way, when you reach the event, you know exactly which one of the wine you want. And they have a little app here. I don't know, how do you access this app? I know, I clicked the link. So you go to Mobile Assist Event, and the link, I'm trying to find the link to type in. It's www.mymobileappassist.com, and you'll find all of the things you need to purchase your ticket for the event. So that's www.mymobileappassist.com, and that should get you to where you need to be for the event. We have All the Smoke flyer. Hold on, I think I may have something special here. What are we doing? The phone line is open, guys. 323-7775-698-0775. That's the number. You can give us a call. 323-7775-698-0775. The Chinese calligraphy. Oh boy, did I say that? What's up? So you can give us a call. You heard all the things that we talked about. We can talk a little bit more about that pension thing. I'd happily be prepared to hear from you all on the pension thing, because I think it's an idea worth fleshing out. And besides, the only people around here that are guaranteed their pensions are the people that are permanent and pensionable. And I don't know how that's working out because we can't fire them. Permanent and pensionable means we can't fire them. I see somebody saying that leaving you having a dandy since Sonny isn't here to tell you to behave. I don't know. I just trying my best. Someone said you should put the memorial at Rawson Square. Man, don't put it downtown. You know how hard I hate anything down. Anything you put downtown, you don't want to even come to. Because I'm never going downtown to nothing unless I am the minister of something. Because I need a driver who could drop me right by my chair. You know how hard it is to get downtown? You have to park over a hill. Then you have to walk over a hill. Then you have to walk back over the hill to get... No on Rawson Square. And then this says... What are these? I don't have any other thing here. Nobody else is saying anything here. No, that's all I got. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. 323-7775-6980-775. You can call me. And, Sonny ain't here, so don't play crazy because I have my whistle. And I let you know, we sitting on the trigger today. All right, so let me know what you got, and we could kind of chop it up. Tell me what you think about the works ongoing in Pinewood. I see that not everybody in Pinewood was happy or pleased with the Ministry of Works. They say y'all putting on one big charade. They ain't know where y'all been. And when the man had the private contract, the well used to be dig all the time. But now, they all take the contract and give it to your friends, and all of a sudden, the well them clog up. Well, Papa, don't feel bad, because they can't seem to keep that little well right there on the corner of East Street and Robinson Road clear to save their life. That got so much dirt in it, you could plant corn. But they drive past that every day. They could clear every other drain in the Bahamas. Not that one. Something have to be wrong with it. I don't know. The one across the road from Portion Control, right on the curb, man, I see trees growing under it. You know what that means? It have to have soil in it. Ah, boy. Anyway, somebody here says, amen to that. Get those dogs off of the street. What did I say about dogs? I didn't say anything about dogs. Blackie is a menace to society. Whoever is feeding the dog should be... Oh, no. Oh, no. So you mean to tell me that if I give the dog water, he's my dog? That can't be... No, I rebuke you. Who is this? Alexia Major, I rebuke you. If I get a dog, I don't even know the dog name. When I call the dog, that make him my dog? If I put the dog... If I decide I got one steel pan in my house... I can put it out under the cool of the tree, and whenever I get a little chicken breast or something like that and I come home, I give it to the dog. This now my dog? No. That can't be the rule. So I don't know. Let's come up with a better idea than that, Alexia. I don't like that one. This says looks like leaving is unleashed. No, it says right there. Eye on the nation. Leaving, are you going solo today? I hope so. Let's hope. Suggest getting under the desk hiding. Why are these people... do these people not know? I see that CBS has put out Our CBS family is asking for your help in locating our valued team member, Antonio Cartwright, who has been reported missing. Antonio was last seen in the area of CBS Bahamas Southwest Plaza on Sunday, July 19th, 2026 at approximately 5 p.m. after the close of business. If you've seen Antonio or have any information that may assist in locating him, please contact the Royal Bahamas Police Force Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9975 or at 502-9991 or at 911 immediately. We ask everyone to keep Antonio and his loved ones in your thoughts and prayers and to share this post to help bring him home safely. I wish my employers would care about me that much. They really want you all to find Antonio. And so, Antonio, I hope that you're safe wherever you are. CBS sends their thought and their prayers. I've actually never seen an employer put on a beyond that. That's some serious employee concern. I work for a military and they never put out a missing person report for people that they couldn't find. But they fear for his safety. I commend them for that, and so we are asking the general public to assist CBS in helping the police to find Antonio. All right, let's take a phone call. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
I just have a question. Have you guys seen pass by Betty K or Fish Fry lately? You know, see those big, huge tanks out there?
Where's that?
By Betty K, by the shipping port.
Mm-hmm. And there's a big, huge tank. You mean those on the side of the road, you mean?
No, LNC, them huge LNC tanks. I'm not sure where they come from or what they for. But apparently they store in there. That's liquefied nitrogen gas or something like that?
I think it's liquid natural gas if it's LNG.
Yeah, you got it.
Mhm.
That. Now, question, is that not safe for the community that right next to Fish Fry, that should be explosive or something like that, or something that's happened? Wouldn't that be a huge disaster? I don't clear that.
I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, liquid natural gas is almost like propane. If I'm not mistaken, they have the same characteristics. I could ask ChatGPT and see what Chat say, right? But from the way I understand them to work, they are directional, flammable, if that makes sense. So like if there was a puncture, right, and you lit it, it would blow, the fire would blow in the direction of the stream of gas, not like gasoline that would combust.
Man, that still don't sound safe for the community. That still don't sound safe for anything around where the tourists, where the people, where anybody should be. Why would they store it there? Why would they plan on keeping that there when they're Clifton Pier, they have all these other places to put it?
Well, firstly, Arawaki, the gods obviously keeping that safe because with all them timber and grease and oil out there, that can't seem to burn on for nothing in the world. So
they tried, only tried, but it didn't work.
So obviously the gods keeping that protected. But you know what? Our property out there, the whole Arawaki is just bare land, eh?
Yeah, I mean, but it's for industrial things like that. Like I feel like Clifton, somewhere out west, all the way in the back way, nobody could get hurt. Put it out there, store it out there. They plan on having that there indefinitely. Nobody gonna know when they gonna service it, if they ever service it. And then when a disaster happens, God forbid, then we want to cry and have big memorials.
So I asked ChatGPT, how volatile is LNG? You want to hear what Chat says?
I just buy ChatGPT Plus, so we should have a good answer to me today.
Chat says liquefied natural gas is often misunderstood. LNG itself is not a highly volatile liquid in its liquid state, but it can become hazardous under certain conditions. Its risk profile differs significantly from gasoline or explosives. What is LNG? LNG is natural gas, primarily methane, that has been cooled to approximately negative 162 degrees Celsius or 260 degrees Fahrenheit, causing it to become a liquid. This reduces its volume by about 600 times, making it practical for storage and transportation. How volatile is LNG? As liquid, LNG is not explosive. It does not burn because combustion only occurs in gaseous state. It is non-toxic and non-corrosive. However, because it is extremely cold, it can cause severe cold burns.
When you ever see coal in the Bahamas?
No. They saying that, like if the tank got a puncture, and you put your hand there, it'll probably freeze your hand off.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying, but that still don't feel safe for anybody. For the mentality of the people, I don't feel like that should be.
No, but the information is suggesting that there's nothing to fear. So it says, as it warms, LNG rapidly evaporates into methane gas. Methane is flammable only when mixed with air in concentrations of about 5% to 15% by volume. Well, that sounds like about the same amount of air outside, eh?
Yeah.
Below 5%, the mixture is too lean to burn, and above 15%, there is too little oxygen for ignition. So when compared to other fuels, gasoline is considered very highly volatile, propane high, diesel low, LNG has a moderate rate of volatility. It evaporates quickly, and it's moderate under specific conditions.
All right. I will continue to pray for the Bahamas, and I will continue to pray for everything that happens around here.
Some of the greatest. Hold on, I can give you one more before you go. So I can give you one more before you go. Some of the greatest hazards of LNG are severe frostbite, damage to equipment not designed for cryogenic service. A spill could create cold methane vapor clouds. Initially, the cloud can remain close to the ground because it is chill, but as it warms, the methane becomes lighter than air and it rises. So I think all of your fears can be allayed, eh?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like I say, only God can hold us, so I hope he got us.
All right.
All right, well, continue to do a good job, man. I appreciate it.
I try my best. There's nothing to fear on the LNG. It appears it is a whole lot less volatile than it is considered. Let's go to the call. Hello, caller. Hi, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. I calling to speak with Luan.
It's live and direct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the whole setup what they're talking about is about being able to cruise ships. They be buying that from them, and they running it through the water to the cruise ships now, and they have to pay for it. Because don't forget now, all of them cruise ships, all you see all of that, the asphalt going up in the sky, and they, all that's part of the climate change. So they be buying the stuff from us now. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that's all about.
Yeah. But again, just to allay his fear, there's no volatility concerns. According to what I see.
I understand that, but you see, don't forget that there's some exploits would install this, and they do this around the world.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it sounds like the worst thing about LNG is you might lose your foot. Like if a tank kind of ended up becoming past, and you stood, if you stood in proximity, your foot might get frozen off. That sounds like about the most.
Yeah, but then I think we get it right on this one though.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay,
Let's take another one. Hello, caller.
Hey, Leroy, how you doing?
Hey, Peter.
Well, you're solo today.
Well, you know.
You're a lonely man today, man.
I read you holding on to God's unchanging banner, a hand, and lifting up the bloodstained banner, Peter.
You wasted Adam and Eve. Adam had Eve.
Well, you know, Adam also had the garden before he had Eve, and then Eve come, and all of a sudden he had no more garden.
Yeah, that's true. You ain't want all of that. And that could happen with Eve. But you said, the LNG is the most cleanest liquefied product, and also for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why we get it. I understand and stand be corrected. If you adulterate it right, you could drink it.
Well, I like to drink. I don't like to drink LNG.
No, that's it. But gentlemen, for our island of the Bahamas, that is the cleanest, because I remember with those and the time you probably would know, but there, Oak Cliff and Fair used to be a Defense Force officer. You remember how black the water used to be?
Mm-hmm.
At Cliff and Fair? With the liquid of the Earl and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, right. So the LNG would eliminate all of that and keep our environment very clean, especially that area what I just talked about. So hats off to the minister and my government for clarifying and keeping their promise with the environment.
All right.
Have a good day, my friend.
Yes, sir. What does this say? For real, big up to CBS. See the people, even the people in the comments can't believe that the employer missed their employee this much. I've never seen that happen. What else does this say? Look at how this boy could. What told me? I've been to Prince William. I've been to Prince William under the auspices of Charles W. Saunders. Yes, you keeping the dog alive. I keeping the dog alive? Boy, I tell you, y'all can go to a Christless hell, mind you. Leaving those sidewalks on Wolf Road across from Wendy's and Island Luck have been in progress from before election. It's now August. Chicken breast, that dog living by young. So I must just let the dog dead? Oh boy. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Hey, put the fly up.
How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Mm-hmm. Hey, caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Miller. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, man, it's Green Slade.
Mr. Greenslade, I get your message. You messaged me, and then you called me while I was on air. You had to hear my headphones ringing.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry about that. I didn't call. I'm sorry
I see your
about
message.
That.
I see your message,
That's
Mr.
a missed call.
All right. I see your message. Let me,
Yes,
you got to
I would
give me a
like-
chance to get off here so I can deal with it.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate that, Mr. Miller.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Good. Put up the flyer. Man, you all have these flyers set to miniature today. Let me see if I can read it. Oh boy. So All the Smoke, they're gonna be having their event. It's gonna be Friday the 31st of July, 2026. It's a happy hour. It's starting from 4 p.m. until. It's gonna be in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza at the Casino de Mar. Don't you just love it when the place sounds fancy? It's at the Casino de Mar. And they are inviting all persons, particularly those who are smoke enthusiasts, to come out. There will be special live band performance and DJ performances. The entrance fee is $30. The happy hour hors d'oeuvres will circulate the place hourly. There will be drinks and cigars on sale. And it is brought to you by the Cigar Social Group Limited, which is established in 2026. So Wednesday, that's Thursday, you could go with the Friends of China and the Bahamas. But Friday, my friend, find your way to Casino de Mar and go and see what the boys at All the Smoke have in store for you down there at the Coral Harbor Plaza. Anyway, the jingle means I'm out of time. Not on the show. I'll see you tomorrow.